I'm curious what your thoughts are about the growth prospects overall for a company that we know at least is relying on the U.S. government for a lot of its revenues, but has had ambitions for some time to move much more significantly into the corporate/commercial realm with its data science.
Sure, absolutely. Palantir, as you said, is predominantly generated their revenue from the government or governments, not just the federal government. But they've had clients within corporate enterprise for many years. Depending on what information you believe from all the different public commentaries and third-party sources and the rest, somewhere between 50–60% of their revenue comes from government, but there's still a sizable commercial business made up of very large companies and very large projects. So it's going to be a very interesting filing. It's going to be a very interesting company to look at. It is an area in which there's a lot of unique companies offering diverse capabilities in the analysis of all the different data sources that are being created and expanded on being created every day.
Yeah. Well, a couple of other quick questions here. First of all, when
Sure.
the S1 is filed, which again could be momentarily, what are you going to be looking at first? What is going to be most important to you? And then secondly, I'd love to understand who their peers are in your opinion as well. So who we're going to be comparing them to when you look at those financials.
Well, so obviously we're going to be looking at the background data to validate against some of the information we've received in some of the news articles and some of the leaks that have occurred. We'll also be looking at the deep financial data, trying to really understand the economy of the business and the economics of the business going forward. According to most sources, this is a company that has been losing money till now. And so we'll be trying to understand where the spending is, where the ability to ramp and drive margins, where the revenue growth is coming from, spread across how many clients, how many different industries, how complex is the product to be able to install, maintain, and support, because all of those are going to drive into the margins. From an investment point of view, you want to understand not just how big the company is, but how big the company can become reasonably, and you want to understand what happens to the margin profile. A lot of that data is buried within public filings, and we're hoping that there's enough transparency within what they file to be able to really understand what is really driving the business, where they're gaining success, what their customer retention and customer churn is, what's driving the margins, where the costs are going, so that we can really better assist our clients in understanding the value of the company long term.
What about that question that David mentioned, who its peers are, who the competitors are, how it's going to be valued, which comps are most appropriate?
So it depends on what you compare this company to. Again, without seeing the S1 and the detailed data, it's difficult. But if you look in the government space and you look at government consulting companies, there's obviously a lot of consulting required in the implementation of this product based upon their own information on their website, as well as other information that's in the public domain, that those companies trade at a multiple of revenue, and often at a low multiple of revenue because it's highly services based. On the other hand, if this is a true software company, in which there's true recurring software revenues, especially if this is a subscription revenue stream or a cloud revenue stream, then you're going to compare it more to the software space. And depending upon how that revenue is made up, how much is professional services, how much is the product itself, how much is licensed, how much, how that mix plays out will define really who it compares against. It's not just simply look at it and compare it to a government company, because it sells government and it sells enterprise and it's positioning itself as a SaaS company. The question is understanding exactly what the company offers and how they make money, how they generate revenue, and understanding that will give us a sense of who they compare to. Do they compare to the government contractors? Do they compare to other data analytic sources that are out there, whether it's portions of what IBM owns, or whether it's a Splunk, or whether it's any of a wide range of other companies really depends on exactly what the business does and what the mix of services to software and how customized the solution is.